Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
What's up, bro? And welcome everybody to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a show where me and my brother Ivan talk about movies that we see, movies that we watch, movies that we discuss. It used to be movies that we love, but now it's like we watch a movie and we talk about it. We talk about a new movie every week. Ivan. Hi.
Hey.
Sorry for the pregnant pause, but today we are going to put on our tinfoil hat as we scan the dark web for a film so bold only the woke can understand its true greatness. Ivan, what is that film?
Moonfall.
Moonfall. But before we get into Moonfall, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. For all of you listening and watching, we are Peliculas with the Bros. If you want to listen to us, you can find us on all podcast platforms, Peliculas with the Bros. So if you're on Google Podcasts, you can look us up there. If you're on Apple Podcasts, look us up there. Deezer, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, we should be there. Also, if you are entertained by us visually, go to youtube.com. Look up Peliculas with the Bros. We will be there. Subscribe to us. Leave a comment. Leave a review. And we will talk back. We are going to produce the best quality of content for you. Content, baby. We are content. Not really. We just like to talk about movies, so that's all you're going to get. Ivan, how's it going?
It's going good.
Good. Very good. What's today?
Thursday.
The
9th, I believe,
of
February. Year US, 2022.
what's up with the word February?
February.
Right? February? Everyone says February, but it's February.
Yeah. I got opinions.
Yeah, me too. Generally, right?
Yeah, but who cares, you know?
Yep.
Who cares?
Who really cares? Ivan, let's talk about the movie.
Yeah.
Moonfall. The premise: on a routine space mission, a black goop floating creature attacks 3 astronauts, killing one of them. 10 years later, the moon has changed its orbit and will make impact with Earth in less than a month. Now, the same astronauts and a genius conspiracy theorist have a chance to save the world. I'm sweating because I just finished the workout, so don't think I'm nervous, guys. I do this all the time. I'm super casual. I might fall asleep right now. With a cast of Halle Berry as Joe Fowler, Patrick Wilson, aka Owlman, right?
Oh my God.
As Brian Harper, John Bradley, aka
Sam Tully.
really?
Something from Game of Thrones.
Something from Game of Thrones
Tarly?
as what?
Samuel Tarly, I think.
Samuel Tarly as Casey Houseman, Michael Pena, aka
Ant-Man Psychic.
as Tom Lopez, Charlie Plummer as Sonny Harper, Kelly Yu as Michelle, Donald Sutherland as Holden Field, and Eme Ikuwakor as General Doug Davidson. I am not making that up. This movie is directed and written by
The illustrious
who else?
Roland Emmerich.
Roland Emmerich. What a name.
Name fit for royalty.
That is a thing about those damn Germans. They have great names.
Roland Emmerich.
Our grandfather, his name's Hans Leutz.
I'll just tell everybody.
He immigrated from Germany in
Oh.
1921.
Jeez.
If you go to Staten Island Archives, you will see his immigration status. You can I don't know what.
I wanted to just scream right there, just to like catch people off guard.
Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
He is a filmmaker, okay? And put some respect on his name, first of all. He's made a shitload of movies. A lot of movies that you probably like, people out there. You like Independence Day? Thought you would. He made it. You like Godzilla? I know you don't, but he made it. He made, let me just go down the list of the movies he has directed. The Noah's Ark Principle, Joey, Hollywood's Monster, and Moon 44. Those 4 films were, he's German, so he made those films in Germany. It was like his come up. Then he finally got a big opportunity. He made Universal Soldier. Then he goes on to make Stargate, Independence Day, Godzilla, The Patriot, The Day After Tomorrow, 10,000 BC, 2012, Anonymous, White House Down, Stonewall, Independence Day Resurgence, Midway, and now we have Moonfall. Ivan, what is your personal relationship? What's your personal deep affinity with Roland Emmerich?
I think this is the only movie of his that I've seen.
You never seen Independence Day?
No.
Oh, man. You never seen the extravaganza that is Will Smith saving the world with Jeff Goldblum, The Fly, as his sidekick?
Nah.
You never seen the movie where Bill Pullman, yes, the Bill Pullman that cannot taste food, or does it smell, is our president of the United States and helps save the world?
Nah.
That's crazy. Why haven't you seen that?
I feel like I've seen it culturally.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a humongous movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think at the time it was like top 5 grossing movies of all time when it was like the first couple years it came out.
Yeah.
I didn't know our boy Roland Emmerich directed that movie until I did my deep research. And then looking at his career, it's like, oh, he also made Godzilla. He made Stargate, which I sort of kind of love. And then he goes on to make all these disaster, like Armageddon type of movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really like Independence Day was a big movie for me as a kid because they showed it so many times on cable, and I watched it so many times. And Will Smith was such a big guy, big actor, big star, and it ticked all the boxes of like action, aliens, spaceships, funny, Will Smith, cool guy. I want to be Will Smith. And it was just huge, and I loved it. I loved it. And then I actually like Stargate too. I remember watching Stargate on a plane trip to Colombia when I was a kid. Like that memory is ingrained in me, even though I don't really remember anything in particular about the movie. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I love this movie. And then now looking back at this guy's career and all the movies he's made, it's like, wow, what a odd way
What it has been. What a way to success.
It's like so much story there, you know?
Yeah.
When I list off all these films, what do you think about his career? Like what's your take?
I think he's just having fun with it
Well, yeah.
and just doing whatever he wants. He's not in it for the craft, for like the artisanal aspect of filmmaking. I don't think. More like it's fun to make films.
Right.
Which it's not like one's better than the other. It's just a different mentality.
Yeah. And then like it's funny because that's what we take from watching his films and knowing about him. But I'm sure if we ask him, he's like, no, I am an auteur. I have a vision. Right? Like,
Not.
or do you think he's like, I know I'll make dumb movies soon. I just love making them.
Well,
Because that could be it too. Maybe I'm wrong.
you never know. Because, I mean, just with this movie, it was like so plain, like plot-wise, just like hit that note, make that joke, do this, do that.
Yeah.
He says that, like, super predictable.
Yep.
But you're not there for that. You're there for. Boom. Yeah, that's what I'm there for.
Yeah. And looking at his career, it's like Michael Bay-esque.
Yeah, I think Michael Bay just focuses on characters more. Not more, but like he cares a little bit about what's on it, what they say. Whereas Roland,
Does he though?
more than Roland. I think Roland's like, how do I make it so we get this town getting sucked up by the moon's gravity? Like,
Right. The plausibility.
That's my goal. How do we get the plot to get there? Like, well, they can need oxygen tanks and they could go over here. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas, like Michael Bay, I think it's more like he does both at the same time. Where he wants this crazy stuff, but he also wants them to kind of be characters. Not that they're like super fleshed out, but
just a tad bit more.
Yeah, if you compare them, it's like Michael Bay's like, I don't know, the Succession of movies.
No.
Comparatively.
No. I would have to disagree.
You think Michael Bay is
I think like
a hair above?
Yeah, a hair above. And like the only reason I think like what helps him a lot is him being English speaking.
But I remember a lot of Michael Bay characters, for better or worse.
Like?
I think Shia LaBeouf is cheating because he's such a character already.
Yep.
But like Pain and Gain, like it's definitely on the characters.
Okay. I'll take that.
And then what else is there?
There's Armageddon, which is like
I haven't seen it.
There's his last movie, which was atrocious. I think it's called Six Underground with Ryan Reynolds.
I haven't seen it.
On Netflix. And he's making a new movie called Ambulance, I think, with Mysterio.
Didn't he make Bad Boys?
He made Bad Boys.
Shut up then.
Yeah, I should shut up, huh?
There you go.
So, like, but I think I think Michael Bay has a potential for a lot, but he settles a lot to like Emmerich's standard. Where Emmerich, like the highest he could shoot is Independence Day.
Right.
And that was like, thanks to Big Willie style.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree, I guess. You persuaded me that Michael Bay is like a whole 2 tiers above him. He's like a 7, where Emmerich's like a 5. But the ability to be successful up until this point, like making humongous movies, there's obviously something about Emmerich that's working.
Well, I don't know how much this movie made, but I think it's a lot less, isn't it?
Yes, we'll get to that. But
okay.
But the question is like, Emmerich's made, out of his 15 odd movies, he's made about 8 bangers. Okay. Money-wise, right? That people are attracted to. What if we can say, Emmerich, give me this piece of your filmmaking ability so I can build the super director? What would that be?
I'd say just massive scale destruction.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think I've seen any other movie where it's like,
jeez. It's like, well, if that would happen, millions, and millions and billions of people.
Even like Independence Day, like that White House scene is like the most iconic, like top 5 most iconic movie scenes ever, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the trailer for like the movie, and that garnered so much buzz that it made millions of dollars.
And in a way, it's like, what's the word? Like when you do it first? Yeah.
Innovative.
Yeah. And now it's like, you're going to blow up the White House? Like, be original for once.
Right.
But no one's done that before.
Right.
Not that it's like the most innovative idea, but like he just did it, and it was like top 5 movie scenes ever.
Yeah, now that more and more movies can do that, more directors have the ability to do these crazy set pieces that have massive destruction. Shout out to Marvel, who probably just took Emmerichs' whole game away from them. But
For a lot of Marvel wouldn't be Marvel without Roland, probably.
uh,
I wouldn't say it's like direct, but like that little seed that sprouted and then eventually Marvel picked that fruit.
yeah, like it would have still happened, but Emmerich did it first.
Yeah.
But now, like you said, this movie's not making too much money, and this movie is the biggest.
Flop.
It's the biggest independent film ever, the most expensive independent film ever. 150 million. So,
Is it independent?
That's what they're calling it. Like, no studio really backed him. He had to self-finance it through other people.
But it's like all Chinese companies. I saw.
Most likely, yep.
I saw like at the start.
Yep.
Like lettering.
It's the new wave, but now that you see the sort of shift where his movies aren't making that much money, his last movie, Midway, was also independent and didn't make that much money. His sort of style is sort of waning. What do you see for this man in the future?
He has no future because his niche was that he can have that visionary look at how to make that super destruction scenario scene, which was cool. But now anyone with a computer can probably do any scene he's ever done with time.
I would say no, because like, at least to the last point of anyone could do what he does, because it still took $100 million to make this, you know? Like, there's
Yeah.
a reason why it took that. For a director, anonymous, it'll still take $100 million until things get a little better, whatever. But he's still a director who can do this no matter what. It's still going to take $100 million.
But there's no like defining skill to do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can get any director and then say like you have $100 million, you have these CGI companies,
Mm-hmm.
you have to make Moonfall, here's the plot, here's this, and then just do it. And then you see like a scene calls for, they're out of town, the moon rises and starts lifting things up. Like, okay, throw that to the CGI boys, I'll just kick back and relax.
Yep. So it's more to do with just his skill set not being as valuable as it once was.
Yeah.
Interesting. I do think like he has the ability to sustain a career now that China's becoming this like financer and seeking maybe even like Chinese specific movies, you know? Movies that
Works
only
in China.
Yeah, movies that work in China, cuz you see that a lot now, like where there's Chinese companies financing movies now so they can get a piece of the pie. And I would think that the only reason that there's a Chinese actress in this movie is because the Chinese companies were like, you got to put one of our own, because this movie's going to make money in China too. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we don't know how much money it's making in, I mean, we don't think it's making that much money in the U.S., but maybe it's going to make a boatload in China.
I was thinking more like they did that to, it's kind of a morbid way to say it, but like inoculate the American public to Chinese people and Chinese culture.
Yeah.
Not that we're like, well, we America is, I'm not,
Right.
but like America is definitely not
Receptive.
receptive of not white people.
Uh-huh.
And that's not like a discovery.
Right.
That's just in our fabric of
Yep.
life. So that's what I was thinking, like they're doing that. So when it's in America, they're going to see, look, a Chinese person, she's a good person. China's good.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's political games
yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Because that's what China does. They want to make themselves look as amazing as possible. But they do stuff like this all the time where it's like, obviously, not this one. This one's not obvious, but like just generally whenever they do stuff that tries to make themselves look better, it's like super obvious. Like, all right,
Right.
you saved like 20 kittens.
Right.
Like the Chinese president saves 20 kittens in 3 days. It's like,
What a
come
man.
on. Don't lie. It's probably like 10 kittens max.
I was there's like this comedian, he had this good point of saying China owns TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
And China might be doing this long play where they infect us with TikTok, and on their side they limit social media and instead promote like education, you know? Because they do promote, they do limit social media nationwide, and they are promoting education nationwide. So it's like disintegrate us while they come up, and that idea is amazing.
If true, like the thing that I don't think China will ever have is like
Culture.
but like interesting culture. I probably like their 1800s and before is like their most interesting, but you can't like ride that for like centuries and centuries. It's like how we can't, like America, like our culture is like slavery and then all the stuff around that. But if we keep doing like movies about that, we're gonna run out.
Right.
But if China's like constantly suppressing everyone, including like pieces of art their citizens make, they're not going to ever make or produce anything that's worth anything.
That is the crazy thing about a free society, and specifically if we look at America, like we do have this insane ability to create culture, to create pop culture, and it's kind of freaky
Compared to everyone else.
I do think like
I think that's our magic. Like we have a lot of suffering, but we can also show that in any way we want. Whereas like other countries, they might not have the ability to show anything they want, but they have a lot of suffering, or they don't have a lot of suffering, so they don't really have any content to make, even though they can make whatever.
Yeah, it makes me think about like how there's they say like the people that are the craziest make the craziest art, like the best art, because like they have so much pain and they need to evoke it in some way. And it's, I guess you could say the same thing about America. I'm sure like there's people in other countries with a lot of pain, but at the same time they're also suppressed.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a fight for survival more than fight for survival more than a fight for showing your art. Kind of crazy, huh? Rap equivalent.
Oh God.
We like to look at our films and our I know. Our directors through the lens of hip hop when we can, and if we look at our boy Emmerich, who is he?
I
was looking through a lot of things, and now one name just popped up. Eminem almost came to my mind, because it's like a guy that had tremendous success, and now he's like waning out. Like no one cares about him.
Snoop Dogg more.
But then, like, the thing that deters me from saying Eminem and Snoop Dogg and people like that is that they've actually made legitimate masterpieces.
Right.
Where this guy's like, everyone considers him a bad filmmaker. He just has good success commercially.
Ice.
What?
Vanilla Ice.
Consistent.
So a little bit DJ Khaled.
That's pretty good. That's actually really good.
French Montana.
Ja Rule, some might say.
I don't know him too well.
I know him very well.
Okay.
Tremendous success. Never really made a classic. And now is definitely out of the culture. Except if you're talking about Fire Festival, whatever that stupid thing was. Yeah, I like the DJ Khaled though. That was a good one.
Chance?
No, he made masterpiece.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
True.
probably 2 masterpieces. One at least. We haven't even talked about the movie.
Thank God.
Ivan, you picked this movie, so you should shut up. Where did you watch it?
I'm switching it up. Poway.
Interest. That one, not AMC.
AMC Poway.
It's AMC.
Yeah.
Is it AMC now or it's always been?
It's always been.
Oh yeah, it is AMC. Okay. How was what was it? What
Best decision of my life.
you got to mingle with people?
Everyone seems happier there, just generally. They have a kitchen back there. You can get a burger. I didn't get a burger, but I like the opportunity of having a burger.
If you haven't listened to the past podcast, Ivan's been going to the same movie theater for like
10
half a
years.
year now, and it's a really depressing area where the theater's at. The theater isn't that bad, but the area is
It's taking a toll.
horrendous.
It reminds me of like Katrina,
Why?
depression,
Interesting.
loneliness, desolation.
It's a horrible theater.
Yeah.
You know, like behind, if you next to the fencing stuff, like if you keep going straight, there's like a pizza spot over there in that mall. Have you ever noticed that? Because like on the other side of the shopping plaza,
Yeah.
there's other stuff, right? Like there's a Best Buy and
What's
stuff.
it called?
I forgot.
If it's Pizzaology.
No, it's not that.
Okay. I was
I
about to
know.
walk out.
Okay, so that's where you watched it. I watched it at Mission Valley Mall. Stick to my roots. Dolby Cinema Theater, really nice. Where'd you watch it? Just like a regular?
It's regular, but front row. Come on, give me some.
Nah. What'd you think?
Entertaining,
Yes, very entertaining.
definitely. Like when those sequences were happening, I was like a kid. like so, I was like, yes, yes, just super satisfying.
the demolition sequences, basically.
Yeah.
I had fun too. It was dumb, of course,
Yeah.
but I had fun. Definitely a case for like you come in with the right attitude, any movie is gonna be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I guess that's sort of like my thinking too. Like I really want to rewatch House of Gucci, and watch it with the
Oh,
idea of
jeez.
like this movie's like gonna be horrible, and then I'll like it that much better, you know?
Like I had fun with this movie because like I laughed at how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like the obviously bad comedy.
Yeah.
And when that dude kept talking about like Elon Musk, he mentioned it like twice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's so bad. And I literally laughed in the theater.
Yeah, the dialogue is so shallow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like
impressive, almost like you can like AI generate this
yeah.
and it would be probably better.
And impressive that like you can make a movie this shallow and still be considered a director.
Yeah.
Like you got away with making it this basic.
Yeah. Like just from like does he see it and not care and just really, really wants to do the destruction? Or
Right.
is he just some stupid idiot who can't see anything and I hate him?
That is a question that I wish I could answer because I wish I knew him. Hey, Roland, if you have a chance, come on the podcast. We'll rewatch a movie of yours and we could talk about it.
I feel like if I watch one interview, I'll be like, I know what his game is.
Yeah. So, like, I hope I don't lose track, but he's tried to make, like, a couple movies that it's like,
Eddie.
this is my movie. This is where I'll tell you a different side of me, you know? And then you do what you just did. You just go, oh, Roland.
Oh,
You're not.
Rolly Emmy, what are we going to do with you?
He made, like, a Shakespeare movie that's supposed to be, like, Shakespeare actually didn't write any of his plays, but this other guy did.
Okay.
And it was panned. And then he made another one because he's he's homosexual. He's gay.
What?
Yes. And he made this movie about like the precipice of like the Pride Parade, like how it started,
Okay.
something like that. And again, critically panned. So it's not like he's actually tried and do these movies that are little bit more than just disaster movies.
So he's just incapable.
Yeah, there's something off in his brain that's
Whoa,
can't.
homophobic.
No. There's something off in his brain that he can't do these kind of movies, Ivan. And I think it's that he wants to do everything because I think he writes most of his things.
Jeez.
I think he's probably a little narcissistic.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
He doesn't do the Kanye method of telling the best people to do the work
Yeah.
and then taking credit.
Yep. Because ultimately, you can still do that.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to remember the writer. They're
Yeah.
still going to see the director there.
They'll remember the visionary. He could have been a visionary.
There's so many, like, cliches in this movie. Like, we talk about how shallow it is. And there's so many cliches in the movie of, like, character types and stereotypes of actors and how they should, or characters and how they should act, and like scenes, and like you can tell what's gonna happen before it happens. Specifically in the beginning of the movie, there's like the astronauts meeting with this alien AI technology, right, and getting attacked, and I like to compare it to the movie Gravity by Alfonso Cuarón.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's basically like the same scene
Yeah.
without Sans alien. It's the same scene. There's like trouble on a space station. They need to save this guy. He ends up dying. But the difference in how they execute it is like night and day. And by the time one character dies in this film and by the time another character dies in Gravity, you feel completely opposite. Like, you don't care about this character at all in this movie. And the other one, you care about it so much. You're like, oh, it's devastating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it is like the idea that every story is essentially a cliche.
Yeah.
But what takes it out of the cliche trash bag, is just giving it more and more depth. You know? The more you give to it, the better it is. And he just doesn't give anything depth.
Yep.
And I mean, that's fine for destruction films, and like at the end of the day, I guess like no one's gonna sign up for this film looking for something specific. But maybe they are. Maybe the audience is getting smarter and they don't want to see these kind of movies because the bang isn't worth the buck. So like there's stereotypical characters. Casey, the like you said, the conspiracy theorist who's shouting out Elon, and then he meets his mom, who has, of course, Alzheimer's. You know,
it just messed up in like a bubble. I know what you're gonna say, but it's funny. Like, he meets his mom with Alzheimer's, like such a cliche.
And then he's like, "Mom, no one believes in me." He's like, "Make them believe in you." He's
you
like,
hear like the Disney little music, like or something.
and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Make them believe in me." She's like, "Yeah." Who are you again? I'm like, "Oh my god."
It's me, your son. This is in Captain America. 1, 2, 2.
2, yeah.
It did it a lot better in Captain America too.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Marvel. But again, we're here for the action sequences.
Mm-hmm.
And they did have me at the edge of my seat. Specifically that crazy scene where like the spaceship was deploying
Mid-tidal wave
while the kids are escaping in the Hummer. I'm like too many things at once. Oh my god.
So good.
And then of course there's like evil people trying to kill these survivors for some gas tanks. Well, like everything's blowing up. Like, no, we need those gas tanks. Let's kill them. Great. I love it.
Amazing.
They had like a Fast and Furious scene right in the middle of the movie.
With the Hyundai, or was it the Subaru?
Yeah, they're like promoting Lexus
Lexus.
cars.
That was so funny. Like it pulled up so perfectly washed and beautiful, and like perfectly framed. You see the little Lexus,
Beautiful.
and then as it's driving, it's never dirty.
That's how you get financing, man.
So good.
Oh god. Yeah. So we were mentioning this earlier, but just the idea of like he's obviously not a good director, but he's made it this far. What makes him make it this far, and the director that we forgot already, who's tried to make these kind of films but just falls out of the zeitgeist, and like what's up? Maybe he has like this crazy like
Legacy.
no, well maybe he has that too, but he has maybe charismatic charm to him that is actually very good when dealing with like business stuff, you know? Like maybe that's the thing about him, that maybe he's not even a good director. Maybe that's not the little missing.
Like Lil Yachty.
How so?
He's like super good friends with everyone in the industry.
Oh.
Super well liked, even though he's not like the most amazing rapper ever. I know you like him. I know he's your favorite artist ever, and you think he's the greatest artist ever, and you love him so much. But he's not amazing. He's a good artist. But he's super well connected and friends with everyone.
Yes.
So he always has work, and he always has good features.
It's a good take.
And it's just being a good person.
Yeah. Maybe, what if that's, oh my God, like, he just needs to be at least a good person.
What a astounding revelation you just made.
Maybe, and okay, how about this? Like, what if we're the dirtbags for shaming our boy Roland Emmerich when he's like the greatest
What if he's,
person?
like, watching this because he's like super into what everyone has to say.
Oh man.
And he sees this, and then we're just like the worst people ever. Well, maybe he'll make better movies, you know?
Maybe he can hire us.
Creative directors.
We have a vision, Rolly. You have the technique. 1 + 1 might equal 2 this time. I smell box office success.
Oscar.
Who said that? Not us.
What was that?
God. Disaster movies, Ivan.
Yes.
You have any kinship to them?
I don't think I'll like. I mean, I really like this. Like, I super enjoyed this a lot more than a lot of movies I've seen in a while. And it's because of like the stupid destruction.
Yeah.
And I kind of get that with Marvel already. Like they're kind of really ramping up destruction too.
Yeah.
Because they have to. So I think I always just liked it either way. But this was just like the distilled destruction. No Marvel, whatever attached.
What about like past disaster movies, like 2012?
I never watched.
Armageddon. So for me, when I was a kid, I was super scared of disaster movies.
Oh yeah,
They're anxiety inducing.
The Tom Cruise one, Last Day on Earth, or something like that, but by like Spielberg.
Oh yeah, we watched it. War of the Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to be. I mentioned it. I used to be super scared of that movie,
Okay.
and I never watched it. And then when I watched it, I was like, "What the hell?" That's it. It was
Yeah.
the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but
You're just like demoralizing it because it made you feel bad as a kid. Stupid movie.
But I remember liking aspects of that movie because of the destruction and how, like, it does genuinely make you feel a little bit of dread,
Yeah.
but it's also held back by technology at the time. Like, I'd imagine it being remade and it'd be like super chef's kiss amazing in its own way.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I remember watching a trailer for The Core. Do you remember that movie?
No.
It's a Hilary Swank where it's like they have to go inside of the core of Earth to save Earth or something like that,
Jeez.
or else it's gonna explode or something. And I saw the trailer and I got so scared in the theaters. I had to walk out, and Dad's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I can't watch the trailers." Like I just got scared of dying, and that fear has gone away as I got older, thankfully. But it was funny because I watched it with my wife, Tanya, and while the Earth was exploding and all that kind of stuff, she's like, "I feel like crying." Like she was getting anxiety. And I was like, "Oh,
You poor child.
I went through this years ago."
Jeez.
And she's like, "Can that ever happen?" I'm like, "That specific."
No. Maybe.
I was like, "Well, that specifically won't happen, but I won't say that can never happen." And it's just interesting, like, it does, like, trigger this, like you said, this dread in us that's like, it can happen. And there's I don't know if you've heard of Graham Hancock. He's been on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he talks about how, like, there's been multiple cataclysmic events on Earth, not just like the dinosaur one, but multiple that has caused the ice age and has done this and has done that, but it hasn't been like acknowledged by quote unquote science as a whole, you know? But there is evidence.
Okay.
And it's crazy just to think like, God, we're just living willy-nilly here on Earth when we should actually be like Elon and be like, let's build these asteroid builders that can destroy things and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just crazy, that whole idea.
Yeah.
And you would think like, instead of fighting over Biden's vaccine policy,
Fight over our asteroid policy.
yeah. I mean, maybe that guy from what was that movie by our boy?
Don't look up.
What's the
Adam McKay.
Maybe the guy that was playing Biden / Tim Cook, maybe he was right. We need to build a device that goes into Earth and sucks out the minerals. Anyways, hot take. I do like the conspiracy theorist side of this movie, though. Like, there's what is that about? Like, the bad thing about conspiracy theories is that there's so many people that don't have any knowledge and are like, yeah, the Earth's flat, you know? But there is one crackpot who's actually a brilliant guy, like our boy Casey in this movie.
Listen.
Go ahead. Hot take about conspiracy theories coming up. 1, 2, 3.
I'm sure there's like a good million people on Earth who like know
The
stuff
truth.
like Casey,
Okay.
where they see like whatever, it's like who cares if it's true or not? You have to be able to calmly say your message without looking like a psychopath. And that's like Kanye's biggest like downfall. Like what he says a lot of the time is not so like basically his thing is he wants everyone to be happy. And which isn't really that crazy, but the way he does it is like, I'm going to name a company after my mom.
Yeah.
And then buy out everything. Like there's tons of things he's doing.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say it in a way that's like reasonable. Yeah. It's like, we have to get out of the programming of society. We have to upgrade our neural pathways and become new. And you have to picture like that one mom in Wisconsin hearing that, like, that dude's crazy.
Right.
But if Kanye presented himself as like just a normal dude, like, well, if you see the facts, you see our happiness isn't right, this isn't right, and he presents it well, then he'll have more people on his side. And he gets like scientists. He's like, look, I got the scientist who said the Earth's made of poop. And he's right. But if I say Earth's made of poop, I would sound crazy, right?
Right.
It's like the same thing with his music. He has to figure out the people who are smart and then boost them up.
I think that is one thing that is great about Joe Rogan.
Oh God.
Because he gets,
Jeez.
like the guy, Graham Hancock, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he explains everything thoroughly
Mhm.
with evidence and data. And you're like, oh, this guy makes sense.
But he's tainted by Joe Rogan, because there's a giant group of people who just hear Joe Rogan's like, oh God.
Like what you just said.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But the reason people do that is because they don't know him. They don't listen. They actually don't listen to him, you know?
Right. But I'm sorry. I had like 30 bursts for no reason.
It's okay. We all have burps. We're all human.
But he's cultivated this persona that, whether he likes it or not, he's perceived this way by the people who don't watch him. So you have to, this is like, I don't know, some next level of thinking, sort of. It's like its own job, but publicist, basically. Make it so you figure out how you present yourself to the people who don't watch you. And I don't.
But what if you don't care about that?
Then you'll lose. It's like,
Will you lose though?
He's losing.
Is he though?
Yeah.
How's he losing?
I say losing is not having everyone on your side, and that's not like, I don't say that from like a people pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
More like, if he's right, then logically everyone should be on his side. And maybe he is right, but how he presents himself is where he's failing. And I think he's just tainted at this point. He would have to do like, I don't know, some super PR maneuver to say like, look, I've done this wrong for a while. I'm going to redo this.
I think that's the thing that, I mean, I think his idea about that is that he doesn't care enough to do that. He'd rather just focus on his craft, which is comedy, and doing what he likes, which is podcast.
But now he has like the platform, and now he has the responsibility. It's like Spider-Man. He didn't ask for Spider-Man powers, but now that he has it, he has to be smart with it. He has to do good with it.
But I wonder if you do a podcast, oh my God.
Breaking the fourth wall here.
If you do something, let's just say anything. If you do something and you emote your craft through that thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you do it logically,
Mm-hmm.
and you explain yourself, what more do you really have responsibility for? Do you now need to go into a different platform and say the same thing that you said there in a different way? Whereas like Kanye, let's take Kanye because he's our all-father. He makes a song called Jesus Walks,
Okay.
right? There's his thesis. Now, does he need to go into make a movie to further explain what Jesus Walks really means?
Okay.
Or can someone just listen to Jesus Walks and be okay with it? Because at this point, it's like maybe Joe Rogan's rebuttal is like, I am doing everything I can in this platform. It's actually people that are manipulating what I've made so far to make me look really bad.
But he has to have some responsibility for how he's presenting himself. Like, there's no way everyone is responsible for saying like, oh God, Joe Rogan. Like, there's definitely parts of him that's
Unlikable.
that gets people to say like, oh God, Joe Rogan.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's fine. Like, there is parts where it's like, he can say, I do take accountability for doing this. But at the same time, he can say, and I will not change.
I think it depends on what you're trying to do. Like, if Jesus Walks, he's kind of just getting out like that feeling in the form of a song, like a piece of art.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really telling people how to live or like what's the truth or anything. He's just saying like, wow.
Right.
Where Joe Rogan, I think he's more trying to be, it's kind of like a strong word, but like a messiah, and then just push people forward. But I think if you're doing that, if you're like telling people how to live, you got to kind of meet them halfway. And you have to change what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. I don't see the Messiah thing, though.
It was too strong of a word.
Okay.
But I don't know like a weaker word for messiah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the unfortunate part about it, too, is that if you're level-headed and you listen to Rogan, you'll be like, okay, makes sense. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that aren't level-headed, and they listen to Rogan like Biden is Illuminati.
Right.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
they'll take something that's level-headed and be like,
Yes.
they'll take the worst part of it and expound upon it.
Yes.
So that's like the thing where it's like confusing for me how to think about it. How do you handle, like you said, you're responsible now for, you have this platform, but can you be responsible for Joe for John who listens to you and then tries to kill Biden because of what you said when you never said to kill Biden? It's like the whole Matrix influencing the Columbine thing. Like, is it their fault now for Columbine?
I think in those instances, no. And that's like a different problem of people just being generally stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But he still has some blame of having this persona.
Yeah.
They're not both obviously. The one that twisted obviously wrong, but there's something there. There's some truth in there that they are right about. Like nobody's perfectly right, and nobody's perfectly wrong.
Right.
Like he literally did say that. Obviously, didn't mean it like that way, but he's also said stuff where it's like, you should have not said that until you researched a bit more.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like that little granule is where people latch onto, and then they see that, and then they attach that to like everything he's ever said.
But there's also like the idea of like, you're talking about self-censorship. I should not say something until I really know, right?
Yeah.
And when you're in a long form discussion, it's hard to do that.
Okay.
And it's kind of fun to not do that. It's kind of fun to have a conversation and not have to worry about the repercussions. You know?
Yeah,
To
but
have a more freer experience.
then it's like, it's tricky because
It is, yeah. Because he's like a comedian, but now he's becoming more like a...
Messiah.
No, like
He just has a big platform and he has responsibility now, and it's tough to do that if you want to just do whatever you want.
Right.
Because eventually he's gonna have to explain everything.
Yeah.
He won't have to, but if he wants to have this super peaceful world, which I think he's a good person, he's just a little too unhinged
Yeah.
at times.
Yeah, there's like this specific guest, Joey Diaz. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
When he was on his podcast, like he would say the craziest things, and like I hope they don't find those, because like he'll get canceled for sure, but he legitimately doesn't care.
Yeah.
But and you can if you hear everything in context and then you know who he is,
yeah.
you understand why he says the things he says. But that's so much work for people to do. It's easier just to be like, oh, well, you're obviously a racist.
Yeah.
So deep.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the movie a little bit, right?
Should we pause?
No, let's keep going.
Oh.
Dumb things about this movie. I love, but I hate the scene where, what happened? It was when Patrick Wilson's son is like a little kid.
Okay.
And they're like, we have to move. And the kid's like, I hate New Jersey.
What kid hates New Jersey?
What kid hates New Jersey?
Like, imagine if he went like in detail. Like, I hate New Jersey. Like the city of Boston or whatever is.
I hate New Jersey.
I hate the energy of the people there.
Freeway 95 is such a pain.
Exactly. That would have been. They should like just lean into that. That would be so good. Like this movie, but like amp up how corny it is. Like in every scene. That I would make that movie actually. I don't steal that. I'm gonna make it.
Or Rolly, hit us up. We got you.
Adam McKay written.
The scene where the son is on trial, and the his lawyer's like, "We can afford bail. Money is not an object to us."
Like, all right, straight to jail.
I was like, "Why would
This is
you
your lawyer."
say that?"
Yeah.
Like, Rolly, come on, man. I know you have to put him in jail, but there's better ways than just to make it.
You shouldn't have like said anything and have the dad be like super emotional and say,
Right.
Like, if you put him in jail, I'll kill you. Or something like that.
Yeah.
That would have been more believable. If he literally said, I'll kill you.
Well,
would've
the
been
kid would have to be like, I don't care. I'd rather be in jail than out in this like godforsaken
Yeah, he could have
world.
done that. Like, I don't care about you're a washed up dad. You're an astronaut who sucks.
Yeah.
Like, but better written.
Yep.
And then have the dad go crazy. Bam. We gave you depth.
But now, lawyer, money's not an object to us. Hit us.
I know he killed somebody, but we'll pay to be free.
And then the last two lines of the movie, the mom's like, "It's time. And like we should get to work," or something like that. Like, "Are you ready? Ready for what?"
It's like the next beginning or something.
Yeah, essentially setting up the sequel.
Moonrise.
Moonfall. How about Moonrise? Little things about this movie too. The Mexican actor, our boy Pena. What's his name? Pena what?
Michael?
You said if they would ever make a movie about me, he would be and then like I remembered that halfway watching this film and I started laughing. I was like, God damn it, Ivan. How dare you?
There's no other Mexican actors. I'm not giving you Pedro Pascal. Game of Thrones.
No.
dude.
Give me
No, you're getting Michael Pena.
No, give me what is it? From Rogue One.
Oh, Oscar Isaac.
No, he's not Mexican.
Yes, he is.
He's Jewish. You racist.
Oscar.
Um,
The heck? The black guy?
no, Rogue One. Rogue One is.
Oh,
You're thinking about the other one.
the one with the accent?
Yes.
Nah,
Come on, he's a good actor.
exactly.
I need someone with real depth to cover
We need
my.
a bad actor for you.
I want Pee Wee. I want whoever acted Pee Wee.
Herman?
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman to act
Just
me.
give him a little facial hair.
Yeah.
A little brown like spray on him.
Yep. Brown face him.
There we go.
Rewatchability, Ivan.
I might watch scenes over again for like just for fun. But as that's it. I wouldn't do anything else. There's nothing else worth watching from this, you know?
Yeah, there isn't.
I'd say like one with a like asterisk on the side.
I'll go low out of low, medium, high. I'll go to low.
Then low with an asterisk on it.
Favorite scenes, Ivan?
Whenever the moon appeared, that was the best character of the movie.
Yeah, that moon image of like coming up.
It's definitely scary. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't scared, but like, if I was there, I would have been so scared. Because that's just so disgustingly massive.
Right. There's a bunch of scenes where like if I were that character, I'm like, well, why even continue? Like the scene where they're in the mountains and there's like a big seismic blast go off because like a piece of the moon just went into the earth. You're like, we're gonna die.
Yeah.
Why am I even traveling now?
Yeah. Like when they're traveling with the oxygen tanks to survive in the tunnel, it's like they don't know that they're about to get saved. Like from their point of view,
exactly.
technically, they're about to die no matter what.
Right.
So there's really no point. But whatever.
I like how Peña's like, remember when we were hanging out and told you left, right, left.
Oh,
Like the classic, like,
yeah.
remember that one time?
Keep going. Don't look.
Yeah.
Left, right, left, right.
I do like how
He died.
I do like the reveal that the moon was a vessel for past human races. What?
Super construct, or was it?
Oh, a mega. I have it written down. Hold on.
Structure,
Mega structure.
superstructure, megastructure, something like that.
I like that, and I like how like there was a human race that built it before us.
Give me a movie about that.
I have like a idea that's why a lot of people think there was like witches and wizards back in the day. I think I told you this before, that it was just like a past civilization that still had Wi-Fi technology, and they could just like do things with controllers, but it was actually a wand. Or it was a wand, but it was actually a controller,
Yeah,
you know?
told me this.
Like Wingardium Leviosa it's more of like click Wingardium Leviosa. Oh, now it's funny because he has
But what are they controlling?
whatever the other piece of thing is.
But then we'd see like relics of like, what's this wand with a made in China button on it?
I know, but just stretch your imagination a little bit and understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, then no. And then I like the stupid car chase. That was fun.
Yeah, I remember that from the trailer, like the little jump. So when it was happening, I was like, oh yeah. And it was even more crazy in the movie.
I didn't see that in the trailer.
But they just showed like the fact that he jumps, but they didn't really show the whole lead up,
Uh-huh.
obviously. But it was just stupid fun.
Yeah, when he was like, I'm going for it. I thought in my mind, Emmerich, you're a genius, aren't you?
You devil man.
And then I was like, I thought there's no way he can make that. Then I forgot
The moon.
the gravity.
The moon.
It's gonna help him.
This is the best character in the movie.
Ivan, rate this film.
Give it a 3.5 with an asterisk on it.
Don't no.
What the heck?
That makes it better than a lot of the movies we've seen.
For what it is, it's amazing.
So you're giving it
But I'm also realistic.
give it 2.5. 2.5 out of 5 tickets.
This guy. Look, I had fun pretty much like 90% of the movie. So how is that?
Because you'll never rewatch it.
I'll never rewatch Schindler's List.
Because it left such a mark on you.
So this left like a poop mark on me.
I got poop on me.
I'm never watching this again.
You know what I mean, Ivan.
I know, but it's
Why were we
similar to-
comparing Schindler's List to Moonfall?
When you say it like that, I look bad.
Oh, you got poop on you. Obviously.
3.5 because I had a lot of fun. And that's how I rate my movies.
2.5 because I had a lot of fun, but I understand I only had fun with specific lenses on. If I put on my other lenses, I would have been pissed
But
off
look,
watching this film.
If I went into Schindler's List with the lenses of like, wow, my life's great, I'm having so much fun, and then I watched this, I'm like, wow, I did not have fun in that movie. My life's worse off now. 4 out of 5.
I get it.
I'm not saying you got to change your rating.
Hell no, I'm not going to change my rating.
Okay, change it now that you're going to be like that.
That's it for Moonfall. Moonfall, thank you, Rolly. We got, we'll give you our details. We'll pitch you a script. Trust us.
All
You'll
you
like
need
it.
is a comedy writer. And that's it.
Yeah.
And it'll be so good.
Yeah.
And nobody does it.
All he really needs is a writer.
But a comedy writer would make it unique.
Yeah.
Because a comedy and like a destruction. Well, don't look up.
I know.
God dang it.
Okay. Ivan, it's time for a section we like to call
Things and such.
We already sort of talked about it. The Joe Rogan of it all. It's just
Your boy.
I'd rather not talk about it because we already talked about it. Let's move on. Oscars.
Okay.
They announced the best, all the, what's it called?
Let's hear it.
The nominations. But I just want to talk about Best Director and Best Picture, okay?
Okay.
Best Picture, we have Belfast,
Keep going.
Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, which is a Japanese film that I think we should really
I'm
watch.
gonna win.
Dune.
No, this was a little bit louder.
It was really spit
A
tankish.
little wet.
King Richard.
Eh.
Did you watch it?
Oscar bait. I'm not watching that.
Oscar bait. Licorice Pizza. Nightmare Alley.
Hmm.
The Power of the Dog.
How many movies are there?
There's a lot. Two more. Sherman.
Don't know.
Me neither. I don't. No, that's not it. That's not it. Not
That's
Sherman.
the director's name or something.
And West Side Story.
Oh, God. Really picking from the litter.
So I've been meaning to watch Belfast. I was gonna watch Coda because that's more of like a me and my wife type of movie where it's like, oh, I know she'll like this. Drive My Car. I just heard about it and I think we should watch it on our off time because it's a Japanese foreign film.
Okay.
King Richard. I am not gonna watch that. The Power of the Dog. I heard really good things about it.
I don't want to watch a dog movie.
I don't think it's about a dog.
I'm not going to watch a dog movie.
Out of all those movies, Ivan, what do you think?
Probably Japanese one.
Just to spite Dune and Licorice Pizza?
No. I think Dune's going to win like best sound design, best set design, best this design,
Yeah.
but won't get best picture. I think the Japanese movie will because Oscar likes to be a little titillating.
So,
Titillating.
when you say titillating, don't go like this, Ivan. God.
I'm adding a little humor to the podcast.
If I were to pick a movie from this, I would pick. It's still in your head, huh?
Yeah.
I would pick West Side Story. Just to be like, I'm an Oscar guy, and I'm picking West Side Story.
But it's like
I know,
weird.
I know, but
You think they'll, if they do that, they're racists and homophobes.
that's
And
why they should do it.
No, I think that's too on the nose. Like, there's already a movie, there's already a play. Like, if you can't make a good West Side Story, you suck. Because there's already so much content of it. You know? It's
Yeah.
like spoon-fed. Spielberg doesn't need it.
Okay. Then give it. I don't know. I need to watch the other films. Okay, this is the thing. Your Dune argument of it being not a movie entirely has f with me so bad.
Jeez.
It haunts me. It haunts me, Ivan.
At night. Dune Part 2. Ugh, just a dream.
And I don't think Licorice Pizza is better than Dune. I don't think Nightmare Alley is better than Dune.
No.
So I'm like, and then there's Don't Look Up. Shout out to Adam McKay.
I don't think he'll win.
No, I don't think so.
Good to be nominated, I guess.
Okay. I guess we'll leave that up in there. Best Director, PTA for Licorice Pizza, Kenneth Branagh for Belfast, Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, Ryusuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car, aforementioned, and Steven Spielberg for West Side Story.
God. If Spielberg wins at all, I will die. I'll just think about exploding and explode.
I thought you said exfoliating. Gotta exfoliate my skin after that. I think I should watch Belfast and Drive My Car, and then the Power of the Dog. Like, if that happens, that is a indicator of I think we should watch it.
I kind of wanted to watch Power of the Dog, but only because Benedict Cumberbatch is in it.
I just hear it's really good.
But if I see a dog in that movie, I'm
No,
walking out of my room.
it's like that. What's another movie that does that? I don't know. I can't think right
Clifford.
now. What?
That's a Clifford.
Clifford. Like they put a word in there that has nothing to do with. It's
Dune?
like something else.
Oh wait, don't look at no.
Parasite.
I guess
Like there's no parasite in the movie. It's just a symbolism for something else.
it's the power of the dog. Okay, whatever. Next topic. Let's keep it rolling.
Okay. Did I press that already?
Yeah, we took one not long.
All right. I'm getting hungry, so I'm sort of losing my focus.
Too much information.
Ivan, it's time for a section we like to call What's on the Telly? Say it again, because there was a little music playing in the background.
Finished Seinfeld.
Final take on Seinfeld?
Finale was like, all right. I guess that's the finale.
I mean, what can you really ask from comedic finales, you know?
True. I think the end in the jail scene was like kind of perfect, but like the courtroom.
The end in what, Seal?
Because they end in the jail cell, like in jail, and they're like, you know, that button's on the wrong hole or whatever. And it's like, classic Seinfeld. And I think that's a good way to end, but I don't know about the trial. It was a little.
I didn't watch it, so.
Oh, okay.
You're telling me things
I
I'm
keep
like,
thinking you watched Seinfeld.
I
all the
know.
way.
I want to watch it.
Well, the last episode is like they go to trial, like the whole group, for being bystanders to a crime.
I think I remember something like that
Yeah.
in culture, like hearing that in TV or something.
And then that's like the whole thing. And then they get like past people who were on the show to testify.
That's great.
And
I
it's
like that.
I did too. Like when I heard that's what they're doing, but when it happened, I was like, all right, not as crazy as I thought it would be. But whatever. Like the whole show is like super good either way. Like the finale is kind of just like a different. It's a final note. It doesn't really matter.
9 out of 10?
Yeah,
Nice. I need to watch it then.
it's good.
I've been stuck watching Daredevil.
What the heck? It's
I'm like-
2022.
And I'm like, what the heck am I doing? And then the other day I was like, I should just watch Succession. Like when you talked about Greg the other day, I was like, I need to watch it again. So I'm probably going to watch Seinfeld though, or Succession.
Seinfeld's
during
like
lunch.
just super chill.
Yeah.
So you might as well.
And it's like 25 minutes episode, right?
Yeah. And 9 seasons. And like you could just zone out
Yeah.
because it's just Seinfeld. Like who cares?
Yeah. Plot doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Anything else you're watching?
A little Arrested Development here and there. I'm not watching too much. Just like 20 minutes.
Last episode of Euphoria was so good.
God.
Zendaya is an amazing actress. It's crazy
feel
because
like-
like you forget that she can dance her ass off, and then you watch like a clip of her dancing to something. You're like, well, some people are just better than other people, aren't they?
Whoa.
But the last episode was so good.
I feel like I'm going to watch it and then just like hate the show so much. Like hate everything it stands for and be like, this is toxic to America.
I mean, if there's anything that you wouldn't like, it's that aspect where it's like it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think other than that, you'll like it. Like if you take it as like
Entertainment.
yeah, I think it's really entertaining. And there's things you can take away from it.
There's another show where it was like pure. Oh, I remember. I think it was House. Have you ever watched House?
No.
Do you know what
Yeah.
like that show is technically not good, but it's so disgustingly entertaining.
Uh-huh.
But it's like this would never, ever, ever happen because there's no way this doctor would have a job.
Why is he bad? Because he does drugs?
He's just like very rude to people,
Uh,
but he gets the job done and he calls like the craziest illnesses at the last minute every time.
yeah, I had a friend who she was like, you have to watch House. She was addicted to it.
It's just super, super entertaining, but it's not technically good. But
No.
I mean, if it's entertaining, it's
Euphoria is good. Euphoria is can be considered technically good.
good. I mean, House is technically good, but it's just so blatantly made for entertainment.
Interesting.
It's hard to tell if it's because that's the thing. Like people are just super entertained and they assume this is kind of horrible. Like
Go. I love it.
Like they see it's entertaining and they assume it's good, but there's goodness in the fact that it's just pure entertainment. Like just watching
Yes.
like Power Rangers,
Yes.
it's not technically good, but it's entertainment.
Yes.
But the fact that it's entertaining you is good in its own way.
Yes.
That's like House. Like it's not bad. Like it hits the beats. It's entertaining. It's a cool story. Like there's definitely like a plot that goes through it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so blatantly entertaining. It's kind of takes you out of it. It can take
It's
you.
more just you're saying it's more flash than depth.
Yeah. Because like Mad Men, it's very technically boring,
Yes.
but it's like the nuance and how like he looked at him at that angle. It's like, oh, I know what that meant. And that's just from understanding the characters and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But with House, you like watching like, how's he going to solve this? And you're just like, it was that? How do you call that? Well, I saw his left nipple and it was slightly upside down, titillating it. And that's how I knew he had fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And it's like that every episode.
So, okay, now that you say that, there is like parts that have depth in this in Euphoria, but there's obviously parts that are just like too just outlandish, you know? So, there is, but I still think you'll like it.
Well, I mean, I liked House.
Okay. Where there's that. And I think the other part of it that's like sort of not talked about enough is just like the visual aesthetic of it.
Right.
And the how tied to the culture it is musically, which is cool. Yeah. And you have like literally the star of our generation on TV, which is weird.
Tom Holland? Timothy Chalamet?
I think, but at the end of the day, Zendaya would be bigger than Tom Holland.
Spider-Man's kind of a disgusting powerhouse, though, and he's not nearly done.
I think this is Tom Holland's peak.
You take that back.
I think that's gonna be my hot take, that Tom Holland is like gonna peak where he's at right now.
Just that he looks like a kid for so long. I don't know, like, I want to see him cast as not a kid, but he's never not been cast as not a kid.
Yeah.
Like, he's good,
Like, think about Elijah Wood.
but it's Lord of the Rings.
Peak. Haven't heard from him since, have you?
But I would say Elijah Wood is more, but it's tough. It's tough.
What if they reboot
Lordies?
No.
Rings?
No, well, they're making a show of it, but what if they reboot Back to the Future with Tom Holland as Marty?
Ooh, I would love that. Have Jeff Goldblum as the Doc.
Ooh, wow, that was a good call.
Who's Biff? Adam Driver. Ooh.
Is he?
No.
He's too big.
Who's a Biff-looking guy that acts right now?
I feel like there's one.
Has to be a comedian, I think. Comedian.
Why? Okay, I'll think.
It's like a good role for a comedian.
But there's no young-ish comedian, young-looking comedian that could be good.
Aziz Ansari. It plays perfectly.
Did you watch Aziz's?
I saw like a snippet of it. It was kind of funny, but I don't really care about his comedy.
It's good. It's not that bad. What was I gonna say?
Tom Holland,
Tom Holland?
Back to the
No,
Future.
that's it.
Doc, Adam Driver, Biff.
No, that's it. That is it. I've been really into comics, obviously.
Disgusting.
It's just a deep, dark hole, and I'm loving it. I think, was there something? Oh, yeah. Well, this can sort of segue into the next section. Ivan, it's time for a section called really be bussin'. You should hear my intro music for that. It's so good. Better.
Oh wow.
A couple things came out. I don't think we talked about it last time. 2 Chainz, Dope Don't Sell Itself.
I just listened to that one song you played in the car because I really like the beat.
Uh-huh.
But that's it. I don't want to listen to rap.
It's actually
Good.
It's good, but there's nothing new. But
Yeah.
he's really good at. He found like his niche, you know, and
He's like 50.
Yeah. Well, you should have talked about that. Also, King Push is back. Pusha T released a song called Diet Coke.
That's all right.
It's good.
It's good, but nothing new.
The thing, and it goes with him too, that like 2 Chainz, he found his niche. And the thing about him specifically is that his voice is so perfectly calculated
Yeah.
that it always works.
Yeah.
And that's very hard to come by. I think that's why.
I think he has like one of the best voices.
Yeah.
In rap.
That's why Kanye loves him,
Yeah.
because he knows that his voice is just perfect.
Yeah.
And it made me think that if he's a better version of like Benny the Butcher just because of the voice.
Yeah.
Because his lyrics aren't better than Benny's, I would say. Like,
Okay.
I'm sure Benny has some lines that like will blow people's brains, but what makes
But like I
Pusha
think,
T stand out is his voice.
I think Benny and the whole clan, they just released too much.
Yeah.
Like Push, not that he's like Push is releasing finally. It's not really like that, but I think he's at nearly the best place he can be. I think his best was when he got with like that Drake drama.
Yeah.
But that's because like that's other reasons that's not gonna happen again. But I think Benny the Butcher core type of artists, they need to be a little more precise with what they release,
Yeah.
because it just feels like
Fluff.
like I don't know
Content.
I don't know what to take seriously. Maybe all of it's amazing, but I would imagine some super distilled, perfect sphere of music would just make a better legacy.
Yeah.
Like, what artist really benefited from churning out music besides like Gucci Mane?
Lil Wayne. It always is helpful for artists to do that in the beginning, and then to stop,
Okay. Yes.
and then
Hone it in.
hone it in and do it more meticulous. Always. You look at every big rapper, they started 2 Chainz. He was pumping out mixtapes. Gucci
But-
Mane pumping out. Lil Wayne. And then you stop and take.
But you don't. I think that's true. I'm not gonna say it's not, but I think in our age of the internet, where you could just blow up quicker, that's not as necessary. Like it's necessary, but I don't think you have to do it for as long, and you don't have to be so. I don't know. I just don't think you have to do it as long.
What? Oh.
Just churn it out. Because
Yeah.
like
I
at
agree.
this point, you could just literally release one album, it'd be a hit, and then you could just do that, and then do that slow release.
But I think there's also a thing with like training out music. Part of it's like finding your voice. Finding your sweet spot.
But are these artists, don't they already have that? Because I know like you got to go through the process to see what you want to say. But, I mean, I've heard their music and it's good. Like, what else can they evolve into?
Yeah. I'm just saying there's not
reason.
these artists, but there's reasons why you can keep doing it even in this age when you don't have your voice yet. Like I think a Gunna would be a prime example. But not even, because I feel like even if he digs deep, he won't find anything.
No.
Poor guy. Kind of related music-wise is my comic book binge as of late, and sort of looking at how artists evolve. There's this guy, you know Frank Miller, right?
Yes.
Acclaimed comic book writer, artist, most notably from Dark Knight Returns comic book. But then he also made Sin City, 300. He had a big run on Daredevil. But what I find interesting now, looking into his like history, is he started as like basically Daredevil, writing for Daredevil and drawing for it, and then he goes to Batman and then Sin City and blah blah blah. But as he progresses, his style gets arguably worse.
More stylized.
Yeah. And a lot simpler. Like when he first started, it was more figure drawing, like better figure drawing. Okay. And then as he gets more experience, it's just like crazy drawings. And then I think about this and relating it to like hip hop, and you don't really see that. You see that with a couple artists.
Like evolving into themselves more?
Yeah. And even like taking shots that miss completely, because like some of his work has been like very panned, critically negatively reviewed
for like just a run, or
like he releases a comic and they're like, oh, that was shit.
Jeez.
But you don't see that too much in hip hop at all.
I think it's just more subtle. Like you just don't listen to that album anymore. Like, oh, that was kind of not good. I'm not gonna skip. It's
subtle. Like people don't say, all right, I'm gonna do this crazy thing.
Right.
Like I'm trying to think
of an artist that does that.
Yeah. Other than Kanye.
It's always Kanye, isn't it? I think it's just the symptom of rap dying.
It's dead.
Because, I mean, we'll go one by one. Does Weeknd do it? I think he's having fun with it now, which is a good sign.
Yeah. He probably didn't do anything too revolutionary, but it is a big leap from like his depressive music to more poppy sounds. But I guess that's a good one. That's a good one.
Experimenting?
Yeah.
But it's like kind of a safe experiment because it sounds like already kind of been done because it's like an homage to whatever 80s music.
Mm-hmm.
So the frame's already there, but there's no like, I don't think there's a rapper that's actually like some experiment.
So, that's a good segue. There's have you heard KO?
Young KO?
Young KO?
I hate him.
Why?
I hate his name. That's the only reason.
Oh, okay, good. I only found him because of Pitchfork, and they're like, his album's good, right? So I listened to it, and he has experimental producing, which is like sort of like experimental hip hop / IDM, like electronic type of production.
Yeah.
But what makes him good is that you can hear he enunciates, you know?
That's it.
That, and that he raps over that. So he's like a more a more refined Young Thug in how he speaks.
You know how many times I've heard that? A more refined Young Thug?
How many times?
At least 5.
Who?
Gunna.
No.
Lil Baby.
No. Lil Baby's worse than Young Thug.
Everyone says like a more refined. I don't want that.
Well, I'm not saying you should.
I know.
I'm just saying that's what he is.
But it's just like there's no
I
innovation.
know. But I want to see where this is like his first step.
I'll listen to it and I'll tell you exactly if he matters.
You heard that, Young KO?
I'm deciding his
Ivan will decide your future. Yeah, but there is something to him, but I think it's not him.
You know how many times I've heard that?
I like where he's going, but you're not a young kid unless he finds like some intellectual thing and he can go that
The
way.
next thing is just gonna be some like genuine lyrics where it's not about.
I know.
It's corny, but it's not gonna be about drugs. It's gonna be why they do drugs, like specific. Like I do this because my mother slapped me on my bum.
Oh, I read this great article about Led Zeppelin
Okay.
and how sort of like their rise and then their fall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that was so cliche, but how when they started, they were the shit because they were like blues, but like rock and the pit, like a perfect blues rock band.
So they were just honest, but they also rocked hard.
Yes, but then their downfall was when punk was going up. And punk was like, F you, Led Zeppelin. It's not about being a god. It's about being real.
So it wasn't blues, or
But blues sounding, but their lyrics were like drugs, sex, and rock and roll.
okay.
Where punk was like, no, it's not about that. You guys we're all piece of shit. It's all about how life sucks. And this is the real life. No one's a god, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of see that happening because, like, hip hop is right now
Drugs.
is rock stars, right?
Right.
So there needs to be the
Punk. So then the next phase is some
Playboy Cardi, punk, monk.
punk.
No, not Playboy Cardi. He's actually the antithesis, but
I think he's Playboy Cardi's like the pure parasite of like
he's a corona.
something like that, where it's like rap has been so like declining into that like just only drugs and all that stuff, and then Cardi's like almost like a parody of that, where he's
Well, we talked about that.
yeah, but I'm just saying it's leading up to that, and then Cardi is like, we've gotten so far into this where he's literally just like,
Yeah.
drugs.
Yeah.
It's just such an
Love it.
exaggeration
Yeah.
that now it has to go like explode somewhere.
Yeah.
So what's next? Soul, blues.
No, it's electronic.
I think there's gonna be. I mean, I can't predict anything. I've been listening to like whatever, but like in the past week, experimental and electronic. Go back to my roots a bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to, cause right now like a lot of it's just straight up something with a drop, like do 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 poop in my mouth, boo 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 boo. You know?
Yes.
Exactly.
My mouth.
And I don't like that at all.
Well, that's like festival stuff.
But that's like a lot of what electronic is now. Like I look up electronic, and that's a lot of what I see. So I have to really like sift through like what
Yeah.
genre of electronic I actually mean.
Yes.
And I'm finding that more, but it's still, I think like that kind of genre is like what rap is right now,
Yes.
where it's just pointless energy,
Yes.
and I have to sift through that. So that's what I'm doing. So that's why I'm thinking like, I think electronic where it's a little more like they make kind of mistakes in the music. Because with electronic, you can literally be perfect in everything you do. But
Shout out to Jay Dilla.
there you go. But I think a next genre where they're more honest with the lyrics would be more honest, and then
The beats.
would be more honest, and it would be like with mistakes. Maybe not mistakes, just imperfect.
Mm.
Something like that. Because if it's electronic, you can literally make any sound ever. It's more of like imagination that's the limit. I could literally make that.
Now I want the
Star Wars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But who knows? I just want rap
Who
to
knows?
finally, what's the word? Evolve?
Yeah.
Move on. It's just tiring. Like I put all my eggs on the wrong horse. Like I have this storage of rap knowledge, and it's kind of
Poop.
getting rancid.
Saba's new album came out. Saba's good.
Recently?
Yeah, this past week.
No, he's good recently. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
He's like a outcast. Very
Distilled outcast.
He's like a Andre 3000 mixed with Busta Rhymes, but from Chicago. He has his vocal dexterity is good. You know who's good?
Huh.
Jid.
I thought
JID
he
is
would be
good.
the next Kendrick, but I think he doesn't have the work ethic. The Kendrick work ethic.
Yeah. I'm looking through all these albums. I'm like, no.
I don't want rap. Like I don't want to feel like I'm listening to rap
Right.
at all. And I know I've heard some of Saba, and he raps kind of
Sing-songy.
yeah, but I don't want any rap.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't have anything for you. All I can say is everything has been done before.
Till it hasn't.
Having any party words for the beautiful people?
No.
You have something else to say?
No.
Thank you for everyone for listening, for watching, for taking a gander at our podcast. We'll be back next week with another movie. I think our next movie is going to be Kanye.
Oh yeah. Thank God.
What is it called?
Genius.
Oh my God, that's how you say it?
What?
Is that how it's called?
Yes.
I thought it was like
Gene.
Giovanna Nabi or whatever that stupid stuff is.
Racist.
We'll be back next week with a Kanye West documentary. I think it's all led up to this, Ivan.
It feels like it sometimes. Feels like everything's a bit of a peak. In a way. Whatever.
Don't cry, Ivan.
Okay.
We'll be back next week with another episode of Peliculas with the Bros. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You can listen to us anywhere, everywhere, but you're here with us. That doesn't make sense. But we'll be back next week. Peace out.
Bye.